Welcome to episode 7.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Lee.
And together, we're Bourbon Departed.
Man, as soon as you poured this, I haven't even brought it near my nose. And that I can smell this
from over here.
Finished barrel, whatever you got here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, I'm glad you're back.
Thanks, man. It was a good time. It was well needed. It was much needed.
Yeah, jealous.
Break from work.
You did the bourbon, the whiskey row bourbon.
Yeah, like a little mock.
You did
bourbon trail.
Yeah, bourbon trail.
Yeah.
So you did the bourbon trail. You went to Louisville.
Yeah, we stayed just outside of Louisville. We did about 5 distilleries. We went to 6. Actually, took part in a tour at 5. So, all the major ones, like Buffalo Trace, which of course we went there every day to get the allocated bottle that they had that day up there bright and early. My wife wasn't a huge fan, but she went so I can get my 2 allocated bottles.
You scored a Blanton's, huh? You got one Blanton's?
I got one Blanton's because she was sleeping that day. I didn't want to wake her up.
Is it a special Blanton's did you get, or did you get?
No, just their lowest Blanton's.
Okay.
I think it's a single barrel or something.
Okay.
But yeah, and then we hit 5 total or 6 total. 5 tours. So we did Heaven Hill, Woodford, Buffalo Trace, obviously, Whiskey Thief, and Jim Beam. So we did those, and we actually drove on the way out, we drove to Wild Turkey. So
you've seen it.
Yeah, we drove there, and they weren't open at the time. I don't know if it was too early or what, but we didn't get to do a tour there or go to their shop or anything.
I want to go there with you.
It's a cool spot, man. Yeah. Cool real estate. They're like up on a hill. It's like it's almost like going to Dracula's castle, like on the hilltop. You drive over a bridge and you wind up this windy road, and then it's on the top of a mountain.
Like everybody has to use the bridge?
Yeah. Unless you probably come in through the other side.
Like trucks have to go, large trucks probably have to
It's a big bridge.
Oh,
yeah.
It can handle the trucks.
But there's like an opposite side to it. I imagine you don't just have to come in through that side. That's commercial, just where we came into.
So which one had the largest felt like the largest real estate though? Like you felt like, wow, this footprint's the biggest.
God, I don't know, man. They were
kind
or
Beam?
Of probably Buffalo or Beam.
Because Buffalo's close. Like growing, right?
But then Heaven Hill was big too.
A lot of footprint.
Woodford wasn't really big there. I don't know if they have a secondary, like a lot of these places have secondary places where they distill, like they have rick houses elsewhere and stuff. I know Heaven Hill does. But it's like going to an amusement park, man. Like you obviously don't get to see all that stuff or go everywhere, but dude, the footprint that they have is huge. And everywhere you go, man, they're clearing off land with bulldozers, more room for rick houses.
Wow.
Bourbon.
What was did you go inside one of them? What was were there 5 stories? Like what was I
think it was 7 stories, 7 or 10 stories.
Like you could look up and see just a whole wall of barrels.
Yeah. Yep. Walls and walls of barrels. Like I don't even know how much barrels are in there, but it was a lot. 7 stories. I think they lowered OSHA or whatever has lowered the height that you can have these rack houses at now because of, I don't know why they were explaining, but so all the newer ones are shorter. The older ones I think are 7 or 10 stories. But.
Oh, they got to go wider now instead of going higher.
Yep.
And then did every one of them have the old barrels for sale? Because I was at Jack Daniel's years ago, and you could always buy a barrel. Can you buy a barrel from every single one of them?
I don't think so. They didn't really advertise that. I didn't really ask because I was more interested in the experience and buying certain bottles of stuff, But
all right, so you have Heaven Hill, and they are doing some other labels.
Yeah, Heaven Hill is doing Elijah Craig, Larceny, Bernheim, and then of course Heaven Hill.
Heaven Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Beam guys, when you were in the Beam spot, did you see any other?
Mostly just Beam products. They didn't really have many other brands.
They were easy to get stuff, right? There was no difficulty with.
No, they had a bunch of stuff in the shop. You can pretty much get whatever. They had it on hand.
And you said the Woodford joint had a really cool,
yeah, they had that
expensive one.
Yeah, it was the guy explained at the end of the tour, it was like a hand blown glass bottle with a glass cork and stuff, and the actual barrel, like they poured the barrel into the bottles. I think they bottled it in the winner's circle at the Derby.
Poured it there?
I think that's what
Really?
he said, yeah.
Or
See, it was something significant about...
Or they pour the bottle out and that's what people drink. Maybe it's the other way.
No.
You think they're filling it?
Yeah. In the winner's circle at the Derby, and they're like $2,000 bottles.
It was cool looking though?
Yeah, it was cool, yeah. Yeah, on a huge glass display. It was pretty neat.
It sucks taking pictures behind glass. You get reflections, and
Yeah.
maybe we can find a royalty-free shot of that and maybe use that.
Yeah.
So the turkey place, circle back to Turkey. How is that all in the vicinity of everything else? Like you said you didn't have to go very far.
No, really anywhere you stay in Kentucky, you're either 30 minutes from a distillery, you drive one way, or 20 minutes the other way, or like you drive an hour and then there's a couple distilleries around there, like there's just different hot spots, I guess how you would say, of distilleries everywhere, so.
Did you notice at any of them places, did them rick houses have other brands like on them? Did they say something else, or are they all just
like the rick houses on them? Like,
yeah, like did they designate any rick houses like this is for this brand? Like you could tell
they had, all the rick houses had names, like specific names to usually,
but there
what
wasn't
they
like
bottled there.
Not like a Larceny rick house and an Elijah rick house.
No,
because what I'm getting at here is we did research on what you brought.
Yeah, like when you go to Jim Beam, it'll say Jim Beam on the top of the rick house.
Right. You don't see another brand.
No.
Okay. So what caught your eye? So this morning, Total Wine, thinking about something new, we kind of pivoted off of what we were going to do today because of this being sort of, it appeared unique, right?
Yeah.
And so the last bottle, it looked like a good price.
Yeah.
Maybe a misprice even.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit of a misprice.
Yeah.
But because on their website it said 99.
Yeah.
On the Booze app it said, I think 113 was a fair price. And when I think it was 74 on the shelf, and there was one left. This is the last one.
Yeah. So. And I, after doing the research for this, you come to some dead ends too when you started, because you told me, you were warning me, like when you start digging into this, there's some dead ends, because there's, this I.J.W. You found out about the I.J.W. whiskey company. You found that.
We kind of found that at the same time. If I remember correctly, you shot that to me in a text, and I'm like, yeah, I just saw that, but like, just Googling it, there's not much. It's not very transparent online, and there's not many reviews. People don't do many reviews on it, so it's hard to find where it comes from, like what the deal is with it. I had to do some digging, which I think you did.
Yeah. So this I.J.W. whiskey company, they don't distill. Okay. So anybody feel free to correct us, but at the time of everything that's knowledgeable out here, they don't distill anything. They're sourcing this juice, right?
Which, from what I understand, after going to all these distilleries, that's fairly common. Like that's how some businesses get started out there,
But like you and I learned about other episodes, when we find out when things sourced, it's knowledge. They state it, and they're proud of where it's distilled.
Right.
And there's information on where it's distilled.
Right.
And people actually don't mind you doing that at all, as long as they actually
transparency.
Yeah, they want to. Well, they also like the fact of, oh, this came from this distillery. I don't care that this is this. I just know where it came from.
Yeah, I don't know about you. I don't care where something comes from.
Yeah,
as long as it tastes good.
Yeah, let's just know
it's
quality. Hopefully, so we don't know this where this came from. So,
No.
but what we understand is it's barreled and brought back to I.J.W., who appears to maybe have a rick house assigned to them at Wilderness Trail Distillery in Danville. You didn't go to Danville. That was way far out.
Yeah, no.
But we looked at it on Google Earth. That's a similar layout, but not a huge footprint. They have a bunch of rick houses. But
yeah, dude, it's pretty common. Like all these, I didn't know how big these distilleries and stuff were. Like on site they have sometimes 7 to 10 rick houses, and a lot of these places have separate land elsewhere, out like maybe 10, 15 minutes from their main hub, where they have more rick houses. So like, the bourbon is running pretty high out there.
It looks like Wilderness Trail has about 8, 9, maybe 10. They're up there with rick houses spread out. And on this I.J.W website, which I've read some reviews where the authors, the reviewers, it sounds like they actually seen material on the website and read material. Well, the website's now backed. I think it's been like, it's almost scrubbed.
Yeah, when I went on there, it said it was
it's like a coming soon thing.
Yeah.
But see, people are giving information out like they read something on it. So I don't know I don't know what's going on with I.J.W. It seems like that company is got multiple LLCs that are their business entity representative. So it just kind of buries it any deeper. So
yeah.
But they're cheaper. The reviews on the cheaper one of this.
Like the basic.
Cut. The McFarlane's.
McFarlane's, I'm sorry.
Yeah, McFarlane's Reserve. They weren't great reviews, but on this one, people, they love it. A lot of them were all
it's
in.
12 years, man.
Yeah, 12 years.
It's 12 years, and I know we haven't really messed around with the the finished stuff. Like,
no. I'm glad you pushed for the finish for something new.
It was like a lottery this morning.
Yeah.
And you never stop looking for bourbon. So random, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go to Total Wine, the mega store of bourbon, near us at least. And I walk in and see mostly all the regular stuff. They had some new stuff out, but I tasted it and really like it. But then I was walking and I saw this way in the back. There was only one left, and it had a price tag of $74, I think. Haven't heard of it. Never done, the finished stuff. So I pulled out my phone, the booze app and stuff, and on the booze app it's like $113. I'm like, oh. Went on Total Wine, it says 99. I'm like, oh, whether this is mispriced or something, I don't know. But there was a ton of great reviews on it. But as I think you saw, it's like wish-washy. It's either there's great reviews, either people love it, or they hate it. And maybe that has to do a lot with the finish, or if those people like Cabernet. I don't know.
Yeah, that's another thing that I know you're leaning towards the attraction to this because you're a cab fan.
Yeah, I've never had anything finished, but I love cab, so I figured, hey, what better way to start trying something that's finished and something special, than a cab. No,
I've only done one real inexpensive one that was finished in like sherry, and I wouldn't buy it. I didn't buy it, but I know there's better brands with the sherry finishes and stuff, which we'll hopefully dig into one day. But when it comes to this McFarlane label, did you obviously on the back it tells a story.
Yeah.
It tells the story of Major James McFarlane in the summer of 1794, because what happened was in 1791 President George Washington signed the whiskey tax into law, and he appointed General John Neville as a collector of the revenues. So in 1794, Major James McFarlane, our brand here, and his band of whiskey rebels, and I'm basically going to read this what I got off the site, one of the websites that people disseminated this.
I think it's on the back of
it's very similar to what's on the back of the bottle. Yeah, people actually, I think this was a little added on to because it's a story. It's a true piece of history. So they ended up going to his group went to Bower Hill. So that's another famous thing, the Bower Hill battle, or it was a Battle Hill incident or whatever, this is where General Neville, he lived in West Pennsylvania on this estate. And they go there. They go to West Pennsylvania. They go to his estate. And on the second day, they go in there, and there was a standoff. Okay, And on the second day of the standoff, they put out a white flag from the estate and go, we're
done.
Yeah, we're giving up.
Yeah.
White flag, like surrender. Well, McFarlane, he sits there and assumes that the government has surrendered. So he steps out from cover and they shoot him dead.
Dang.
So that's some low down stuff. Well, that triggered this whiskey thing, even it fired him up even more. His sacrifice it just pissed everybody off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they got the McFarlane. We only know the McFarlane story because it's history, but why these guys why did I.J.W Whiskey Company go and make it their McFarlane's Reserve? Don't know.
I don't know.
Did you read this on the back that like the last liner is toast to the rebellious spirit? And it's bottled by I.J.W in Danville. We know that's Wilderness Trail.
Yeah.
Don't know. It doesn't say where it's distilled. I couldn't
Right.
find this anywhere on the label where it's distilled.
I couldn't see it either.
No known mash bill, right? No known mash
no
bill.
mash bill.
We know it's 12 years, and then the rumor is it's what? How long is it in the Cabernet barrels?
I thought it said between 6 and 10
That's what I
months.
thought. Yeah. I maybe saw 12. But what's weird is the company that when they founded this I.J.W, or when they allegedly laid their first barrels down, if you do the math, if they're trying to get the juice from one place, right, and they got that specific rick house, they could technically only have a 7-year right now.
Mm-hmm.
They could technically only have a 7-year. So how they got the 12? So this
Maybe
juice
it's-
came somewhere else,
Right. It could be blended with other stuff,
Or maybe Wilderness said, "We have some 12.
Right.
We want to go
it could
nutty."
be blended with Wilderness. Who knows? I don't know.
Don't know. So we don't know what this. We've read like what people taste, but
Yeah.
we're not going to know this mash bill. It is straight bourbon. It does
Yeah.
at least say straight bourbon whiskey,
Yeah.
so we know it's no additives and silliness.
Right.
But this one is as blind as it gets for me and you, right?
Yeah.
We've been shocked by some stuff, but what do you want to do? You ready to nose it?
Yeah, let's nose it.
Okay.
Let's get into it. Oh, yeah, you can smell the cherry.
It doesn't look like it has much viscosity, much the fats or anything in it. It's very
Yeah, not many
just-
legs.
No, nothing's really breaking out here.
Oak. You can smell the oak and the cherry. Like it's very
Oak and
fruity cherry, like a dark cherry.
And
Caramel.
you mentioned cabs. That wine gives you this cherry feeling, cherry note sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm by no means experienced cab drinker, but whenever we do drink reds, it's usually a cab.
Yeah, I got the cherry. It doesn't smell sweet. I'm not smelling any sweetness.
I don't know. I feel like it smells sweet to me.
You think it's
Not like super sweet, but
Yeah,
it's not. It's not. It doesn't punch you in the
the
face.
caramel's not there. It's being overrun.
Yeah, it smells to me. I mean, you get a little bit of caramel, a little bit of vanilla, but mostly the cherry smell to me.
I have to struggle to get the vanilla. I agree with you. It's there. That cherry is strong for me. That cab finish.
Yeah. So the cat before we taste it.
It's starting to break down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's starting to come.
Before we taste it, you don't really drink too much cab, right?
Dry reds. That's
Yeah.
it.
So a cab is a very strong dry red. It's more. I don't know. You can get more of the cherry and stuff like that from it. At least that's what my taste buds get. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's not too sweet. If it's more of a spicier, dry finish
All right.
to it.
You ready?
Yeah, let's try it. It's good. It
It's
almost
different.
yeah.
The caramel came out. Now it came
Yeah.
out. It leaves you with it.
Yeah, so So what are you tasting like on the first taste?
I feel like it came in hot, and it's
So I'm
90 proof.
kind of there with you. It's hotter than a 90.
It came in hot.
It tastes hotter than a 90.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably because of how long it's been in the barrel.
The 12.
Yeah, traditionally, from what I've learned, after going to all these distilleries and stuff and going to all their tours,
Yeah.
the longer it stays in the barrel, the hotter it'll get, the spicier it'll be. So that's how you get your lower proof with a hotter, spicier taste.
So did they proof? Do you think they proofed this down?
Yeah, they would have had to.
Do you think they proof it down before it finishes in sherry, or before it's bottled?
No, they probably put it in the not the cab, not sherry.
I mean,
They put
the cab,
it in the cab barrels, and then they take it out and proof it down.
Okay, they proof it right before it's bottled. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they took it down to 90.
I would assume that they do it traditionally like that. They wouldn't water it down and put it in a.
I'm glad they proofed it to 90 because I think if this was 100, it was going to cook you right off the bat.
Yeah. But yeah, so I get that, and then tell me if I'm wrong, but or if it hits you the same way. It's a little hot up front. It gives you that warm kiss up front, but then in the back of your cheeks back here, kind of where your jawline is, on both sides, that's where it kind of sits, the spice.
A stingy,
Yeah.
It's sitting on the top of my mouth. It's actually sitting on the palate.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me,
This could be like a high rye, right? They could have done a high rye mash bill.
Yeah,
All we know.
I don't know. It's hard for me, it's hard because it's like, it could be that, or it could be just the years.
But the spice, I'm thinking it's got more rye than your typical.
But the spice you're feeling could be the cab
Really?
too. Not necessarily spice, but like the I don't know. I get the same feeling in my mouth, on my tongue, that I do after I drink a sip of cab.
Well, I'll tell you, for me, there's a great divide between what the nose and the palate gives you.
Yeah.
I mean, what I had expected did not, from that nose, it did not move into the palate.
It's not sweet to me either.
No, it's not sweet. It's very.
I know we saw the reviews.
It is good. I do. I do like it a lot.
Yeah. I could drink this.
This is good.
Neat.
Sit here this is good.
This neat.
I see why the reviews are where they're at.
Yeah, and I don't know where the people thought that it was sweet, because I don't really get that too much. I think
some
it's
people
pretty hot for a 90.
I think the aroma,
Maybe
from an undiscerning, nose may be like
the aroma's sweet to me. Like it smells sweet.
Yeah, the aroma could possibly turn someone off. If you don't like cherry, if you don't like that, and you're just like predisposed, I am not going to like that. You're probably not going to like anything.
Or red wine or cabernet. If you don't like that,
yeah, then they shouldn't have got it. Quite frankly, right?
Yeah, right.
I got the caramel. There is a unique finish because of that cab aspect. There is definitely a unique finish, and I like it because it's almost fruity.
Yeah,
right.
It's like a fruity, mild. To me, it's mildly spicy. I don't know how you feel.
I think it's spicy. I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's pretty spicy for what was expected.
I am happy with the ratios. I think the ratios of the years and the time that they put it in the cab barrels, to the flavor profile and like how hot it is and how much they proofed it down to a 90. I think all those make a really great bourbon. I think this tastes great.
It is.
It tastes good.
The only thing I wonder, time will tell, like if they are winding down, maybe you got the last one. I mean, there might not be many, many left. I mean, you don't know.
Yeah. I know I got the last one on the shelf.
You got the last one in our area.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the re-pour. You want to try this with some drops of water?
Yeah.
Let's try let's drop stuff because we've lost a lot of flavor when we did the ice. last time. Let's just take it slower this time with some water. What'd you do, like 4?
4? Yeah.
Okay. And I'll do your suggestion. I'm going to do the mouth draw.
I don't know if we said it, but you can definitely see the dark.
Oh, it's dark.
Yeah, it's like a dark reddish hue.
It's dark. It's naturally dark because it's labeled straight bourbon, so it's nothing added.
That and in the Cabernet, that it probably pulled a lot of that red from it. Yeah, I would think so. You know.
All right, so a little water. I don't know if I'm getting anything newer.
Do you get kind of maybe like a blackberry or like a?
It's cherry berry-ish.
Yeah.
A
Definitely the vanilla.
A dry version of it.
Yeah. Definitely vanilla.
If there's sweetness in here, it's being hidden by something else. You're not getting any sweetness, right? I'm going to go and add a few more of these drops.
Maybe a little bit of tobacco. I don't know. Do you...
Tobacco?
Tobacco or a leather. Maybe very... Nothing crazy. Doesn't jump out and hit you, but... I'm going to add some more as well.
Tobacco... No, I'm not picking.
So you're not getting anything else?
No, not. I'm still stuck on. Let's see here. Oh, I didn't write down what others are feeling, but it wasn't much.
Definitely the spice. Like the spice. I feel like the spice is kind of masking stuff for you.
Well, even the taste profile that's stated on the Total Wine site, it's rich, vanilla, dried fruit. They say sherry, so I don't know if there is a very similarity to the sherry aspect of a finish.
I've never had sherry, so I don't know.
I told you I tried that one inexpensive one. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So they're saying sherry, and that's coming from the cab finishing. Maybe they all come out the same in the end. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But there's vanilla. I didn't sense that, but no, even them. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Taste profile they're stating, but I'm not getting the. It's the fruit. It's kind of fun because it's your bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
It's got this dried fruit angle. It's not a dessert.
No.
There's no dessert.
But I could see myself sitting here, just drinking it neat.
I think this would pair good. With like a Connecticut wrappered cigar, Dominican, and no, I wouldn't do a spicy cigar with this.
No, I wouldn't either. If it had too much spice, it would take away from the flavor. I think.
Yeah, I think you pair it with a medium to mild.
Yeah.
You've done more Maduros than me, but I don't think Maduro with this.
No.
Yeah.
I think if you like red wine, specifically Cabernet, but red wine in general, or if you're a wine fan, I think that you would really enjoy this.
It is.
I
very
do.
Good.
I like Cab. Whenever me and Sam drink wine, red wine, it's usually a Cab. Whenever we go out to dinner,
is it
Cab and steak?
Nice.
So, I'm a fan. I mean, it's two of the best things in the bourbon and Cab in the wine world. So
yeah, and I wouldn't go too far as saying like you're gonna bring in you're not gonna you may or may not make a bourbon lover out of this one. If it's because of it being the 90 in the beginning, it might turn them off a tiny bit.
Yeah, but I think it all depends, on where you're coming from.
Yeah, maybe their palate's ready.
Because if your palate is more of you're a wine drinker, you know, and you're trying to like, hey, I want to get into this bourbon thing.
Yeah,
Because bourbon is
yeah.
on the rise right now, man. Like it's so popular. Like I said, they're building rack houses like crazy in Kentucky, you know, and they distill the most.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you drink wine and you drank wine, you know, you never touched bourbon or whatever. I think that this would be really enjoyable for you.
Yeah, I would love to witness someone try it, you know, someone new. When
Yeah.
you take that home, you could
Yeah, I'll try. I'll see if Sam.
see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she might like it. She liked the double oak. She likes double oak anything. I think.
Yeah, the sweeter.
I think it's the. I don't know. Maybe it's just more
She needs
flavorful
flavor.
for her.
She needs flavor. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the proof on that double oak that she liked that didn't wince? Do you know?
I don't know. It's Woodford
80s,
is what she
was
had.
it? Was it 80s or?
I'm not sure, man. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
remember. It's the same. I believe it's the same as their regular stuff.
Okay.
It's just double oaked. It's
More
just,
flavor.
Yeah, it's just put in another fresh barrel for I think a couple weeks. I think they said. So
Well, thanks for picking this up, dude. I
yeah, no
appreciate it,
problem, man. You know
Very
what?
interesting.
You know how the bourbon world works.
Mm-hmm.
Always on the hunt.
Always on a hunt.
So
Thanks, man.
yep. As always, like, subscribe, and share.
Please.